It takes a very special person to be able to be alone and enjoy their own presence and enjoy their own energy and enjoy their own company. A lot of people don't know how to be alone these days. It's genuinely important to keep your circle pretty small, only because of the fact that that way you can manage the energies that's coming in and out. That way you can manage the type of people you're around. That way you can honestly see your levels of growth. If you're constantly one of those people who have a huge circle and tons of people around you, then that is something that you might want to evaluate, especially if it's the people that you've been, what, knowing for a very long time. There's pros and cons to that. If they're not pushing you to grow and to be a better person, if you guys are not collectively growing as a circle, then you should probably evaluate your friendships. You should probably evaluate your circle. And it's not always negative why people are not separate or why people usually are by themselves. It's actually a really good thing because you enjoy your own company. You enjoy who you are. You enjoy what you have and the energy that you want to save to yourself opposed to sharing it amongst so many other people. I really feel like it's something to really admire. A lot of people are on different frequencies and different levels. So like if you're usually a loner or you're usually by yourself, it's because you're at a different frequency and people are on a different other frequency. I also feel like a lot of the times when you meet new people or you come across new people, it's usually a reflection and a mirror of where you are in your life. So if you're meeting people at different stages of your life, it's like almost collecting like infinity stones with people though. Like you meet one person, they're teaching you about something else, and then next thing you no longer need them or they no longer serve you. And it's the same for them. Sometimes we come across people, we want to keep them forever and just hold on to them forever because that's just how we are. We're not meant to hold on to people for so long. But for the people who are usually loners, like myself, I feel like there's a different type of integrity. There's a different type of vibe that you really have to be on to just be able to be by yourself and then be comfortable with being with yourself. You are literally what you attract. So if you are around people who are on negative energy, bad vibes, just up to no good, like that's exactly what you're going to reflect. You're going to reflect what you are with and who you're around. That's why it's important to be mindful of your surroundings. Not everybody has good intentions. Not everybody is, walking a narrow path. Like a lot of people have just different energies that they are dealing with daily. So it's very important to be mindful of who you have in your circle. And this is why I go back to being alone is very powerful because that way you can manage your energy. That way you can really tap into yourself, but also there's no one around you to offset what you build, offset what you manage, offset what you created to be able to be at peace or what you created to be able to be where you are. Only you can offset what it is that you're feeling. Only you can make yourself upset. Only you can make yourself mad. And that's why it's something to really enjoy because you don't have the room for someone else to come into your life and shift it. Also, what it is that you like. You get to learn about yourself. You get to study yourself. You get to see yourself grow. You get to see where you're lacking. You get to see who you are. Never feel ashamed about being alone. Never feel ashamed about being by yourself. Never feel ashamed about wanting time alone because it's literally essential. Isolation is essential to your growth. It is essential to your spiritual journey. It is essential to know who you are. You came into this world by yourself and you're going to leave this world by yourself. Understand yourself before cultivating other relationships and other circles and other friendships and any type of dynamic that you're creating. Learn to spend time by yourself. So then that way when someone comes into your energy field and someone comes into your world, you know if it's you that's offsetting it or if it's another person that's offsetting your energy. Like, are you growing, in that friend group? Are you elevating in that friend group? Are your friends motivating you to be the better person? Are you guys both elevating each other equally? I think it's also important to kind of just like evaluate your friendships, evaluate who's in your corner, evaluate who's supporting you and who's not supporting you. Like, weed out the people that are not helping you and like pushing you towards your purpose and not helping you align to your greater, higher purpose, because that's what we're here for. We're here to discover who we are. We're here to discover our own purpose and our own mission in life. So why would you want to surround yourself with people who are not a part of your journey? Why would you want to surround yourself with people who are not pushing you forward and allowing you to be the best version of yourself? Why would you want to surround yourself with people who are not helping you grow? Instead, they're bringing you down and they're taking you to where they are. Also, a really good thing about like having a small circle, you're able to really determine like who are the people that are like energy vampires. Like, there'll be people that come into your life who are literally just there to drain you and like no purpose of filling you up, no purpose of helping you become a better person, no purpose of really seeing you at your best. So there are so many people who don't have their own energy that they'll go and leech themselves to someone else and try to drain their energy, so then that way they'll have a boost of, energy themselves. And that's a real thing. Like, it is done on a spiritual level and on the physical as well. I mean, there might be some vampires out there, as far as we know, but a lot of people don't have anything to give, so then they rather take. So that's why it's another great thing to be in your own circle, and that is totally fine with being by yourself, because you can surround yourself out of loneliness with people who are there to drain you. So make sure that you have the right circle around you, because not everybody is there for good reasoning. Not everybody is there for bad either, but it's good to determine and to decipher who is really there on your side and wanting to see you be the best version of yourself. And like I said, there's a lot of peace that goes into being by yourself. There's a lot of creativity that goes into being by yourself. There's a lot that we don't see when we're around so many other people. We're usually surrounded with other people's problems, other people's lives, other people's idea of life, so that sometimes we can forget about our own lives, and that sometimes we'll start transmuting other people's energy and start to become like our environment, who we're around and who we're surrounding ourselves with. And this is why I always just think that it's important to take time to isolate, take time to, just be by yourself, whether that's reading a book, whether that's going to exercise, whether that is just simply just sitting in silence, or whether that is just going out into the world, riding a bike, whether that's doing some sort of activity that allows you to be by yourself. Like, I honestly take so much pride in being by myself, and take so much pride in just being able to be in the world alone, if that makes sense. Ask yourself, like, am I growing in this friendship dynamic? Am I really elevating to a better version of myself? Am I pushing them to be the better person? Am I also being a good friend? Am I making sure that they're good as well? Like, it's a two-way dynamic that goes into friendships, that goes into partnerships, that goes into everything. So taking that time out of your day to be just alone, even for a couple minutes to an hour, whatever works. But it is important and it is necessary to really find you. If people are not treating you well, then it's also time to let them go, because you have such a sacred bond with yourself. You usually know when it's time for people to be removed out of your life as well. The right people who needs to be in your life, you don't need to teach them how to be in your life. You don't need to teach them how to show up for you. You don't need to teach them how to be a good friend. You don't need to teach them how to be a good partner. You don't need to teach them anything. The right people that will come into your life and be just that, and then some. Especially with friendship dynamics, like, a lot of times we align with people wherever level that we are at. And it's really important that you align with the right people, because it's literally life or death that you align with the right people, truly. I know that might sound dramatic and a little bit like harsh, but it really is. When you shift your frequency, like, this also goes back to people who have a lot of friends and a big circle, or people who they've been friends with for a long time. Like, if it's healthy, amazing. Keep those friendships, keep flourishing, keep growing. For those who are just not so healthy, negative, and just keeping people down, like, you kind of have to prepare yourself to lose people in life, and that everybody is not always going to be there. And you have to be okay with losing people, And I wouldn't even necessarily say it's a loss. But if you know that you're elevating yourself and you know that you're rising, you have to be okay with knowing that everybody's not going to be rising and elevating with you. You know what I mean? Like, your own spiritual journey is yours and yours alone. So it's difficult to try to get someone else or your friends to be on the same wavelength that you're on, and then they're not on it, and then they're not on the same radio station as you, and you're just like, hey, get on the same page with me, get on the, like, no. It might take them a little longer. It might even take them years, months, whatever. It might take them a lot longer for them to get there to where you're at. So this is what usually happens. You try to get people where you're at, and it just doesn't work. So then God comes along and aligns you with people who are already there. So that's why it's pros and cons to it when you look at it, but it really is a blessing when you're aligned with the right people. Because that way, it's more of an ease. It's not forced. It's something that is just literally organic. Especially when you start taking yourself and your life seriously, a lot of the times, spirit, God, whatever you believe in will align you with those right things. Literally. If you're out of alignment and you're unbalanced, that's when chaos happens. That's what unalignment happens. That's when things don't fit. You elevate, and as you become a better person, and as you spend these times alone, and as you grow, a lot of the times the frequency, the energy, the vibration usually will match what you're putting out. So the higher you go, the higher you elevate, the more you attract or match the same energies that's on the same frequency and the same wavelengths. You're usually aligned with the people that you are connected to. So if you feel like you're not growing, you feel like things are stagnant, and you feel like things are not moving, then that is the best time to kind of like go into yourself and then figure out what it is that you need to evaluate with yourself. And then you start looking on the outside in your surroundings, your environment, who you're around, and you're just like, this is not doing me any good. This is not serving me in my highest purpose. I need to remove myself from that. And a lot of the times, like, people who are usually alone and usually by themselves, I feel like they understand that a lot more than people who are surrounded with a lot of people all the time. And I'm not gonna lie, it's very draining being around a lot of people who's just pulling on your energy constantly, and consistently, and not pouring into you in any best way possible. Like, there's nothing great about being in environments and being with people who are not pouring into you in the best way. There's nothing more draining than that. So I take pride in being alone. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think more people should really choose to be alone. This is not something that it has to be forever. It's taking time for yourself and then coming back to yourself and then learning about who you are and then putting yourself back out into the world, so then that way you can attract those right people who are coming in with the same like-minded things that you have, the same ideas you may have, the same business ideas you may have, the same purpose or towards the same purpose. Like, things will start to align a little bit better when you start to choose the right people in your life, when you start to focus on the things that you need to focus on, when you stop hanging around people who are just negative and people who are wanting to bring you down. That goes back to the energy vampires, people who are just wanting to suck on your energy and literally leave you dry. There's people that are literally designed and assigned to your life to drain you, and it's to stop you from literally reaching your purpose and literally reaching your goals. This is why I think it's very important that people should take time out for themselves, so then that way they're able to evaluate who's in their life, who is helping, who's not helping, who's subtracting, who's adding, who's pouring. That way you can determine, hey, we're going to cut this out. You can't be a part of my life. We're going to remove you. You cannot be a part of my life. And do it unapologetically, because you don't owe no one anything. At the end of the day, you're going to sacrifice your own peace and your happiness and your own purpose and behind other people who do not care. It's not worth it. Trust me. I've been there before. Left down bad. Don't let that be you. Do better. Spend time alone. Understand yourself. That is the most important thing. You are here to understand yourself. You are here to be you. You are here to walk into your purpose. Go get some fresh air. Take a walk. Be by yourself. Get some alone time. Meditate. Figure out who you are and really come back into your body, because a lot of the times we are so surrounded with so many things that's going on in the world that we forget about our own person. We're so wrapped up in what other people are doing, what other people have to say, especially with social media. We are so wrapped up in what they're doing, and that we forget about our own lives, that we still have a life to live. Like, to be on this earth is to find yourself. So don't let anyone tell you that it is no power with being alone. Don't let anyone shame you for being alone. Don't let anyone shame you for spending time alone, because this truly is a gift that most people do not have. And if you can bask and be radiant and be loving and be beautiful with your time alone, I definitely suggest keep doing that. Keep being you, keep being amazing, and keep flourishing, because that's the most important gift, to be able to spend time alone and love yourself in that time alone and love your own presence. Some people cannot sit in a room in silence by themselves. Isolate yourself for a little bit of time. It doesn't have to be forever. It doesn't have to be years and years. It just has to be some time alone with yourself, because that way you can discover who you are, what your purpose is, what you're meant to do on this earth, and really seeing how peaceful it is when you are by yourself. Like, it's less chaotic, it's less drama. Even taking time off of social media and just deactivating your social media accounts or just deleting them off your phone, like, you'll realize there's so much power in silence, and there's so much power with being alone. Just let me know in the comments what you think, your thoughts about being alone, if it's lonely, if you don't like it. Like, I'm here to help. Hit me up in the comments. I definitely will respond. Like, comment, and subscribe. Again, thank you for watching, and I appreciate it.